My girlfriend gave my best friend a BJ. Original post. For Pete's sake. My girlfriend Connie, best friend Toby, and I are a trio of some sorts. We're really close, and my best friend Toby has been with me since middle school. We're all 20. I've been with my girlfriend for 3 years and never imagined her doing something like this. She was shy, she was uncomfortable with intimate experiences, and I was her first. Now she comes to me yesterday, bragging about how she gave Toby an oral. I was freaking appalled. She told me she wanted to date both me and Toby at the same time. That we both fulfilled her needs, and Toby was okay with it. I never screamed so freaking loud in my life, and I think my voice is hoarse. I blocked her and Toby everywhere. Then they started calling my mom, trying to explain that my girlfriend and I were in an open relationship. I never saw this freaking coming. We three were very close, but I didn't expect her to bet him. How could I miss the signs? Now for the top comments before reading the update. If all parties are not aware of it, that's called cheating, dude. Dump her and ditch your so-called friend for stabbing you in the back. Yup, karma is a pain. I promise you, your best friend will come to you in a year or so, saying Connie cheated on him with some other guy. 'Cause once a Connie, always a Connie. They are both going to come to him in a year or so, because they are both horrible people who got a hell of a head start at screwing up relationships. You made the right decision here. Pop some popcorn and pour some wine. This crap show of raging immaturity and selfish dysfunction can only end with one or both of them cheating. True, but I'll advise OP to not invest time or energy in their demise. Move on, lick your wounds, and prepare yourself for your next relationship. The way the dating scene is right now, I'm starting to understand why multi-$1,000 pleasure dolls and robots are a thing. At this point, I just want love, loyalty, and a hug every now and then. Seriously, it's so hard to find a person you can let down your walls with, and then they still might decide that what you have to offer, and what you are and emulate as a human, isn't enough to keep them satisfied. I still date, but haven't had a serious long-term girlfriend since I was 24. As I get older, just turned 28, I really wonder if my person is out there looking for me as hard as I want to find her. I thought I'd found her a few times. Sometimes it ended for different reasons and not infidelity. But more often than not, my relationships ended by me being cheated on by people that I considered friends, and it's led to some intense feelings of self-doubt within, and me sabotaging my own happiness at times, because I don't want it to be ruined by anyone else again. I don't know if that makes sense. But I will say, at least OP in this situation had an honest girlfriend, who immediately told him about what she had done, instead of hiding it from him and letting him find out about an affair any other way. If it's going to happen, it's always best to hear it from your partner rather than a friend or by figuring it out. OP, I really hope you are able to grow and become a stronger person as you go through the next few months and years. Please, if you ever need another person to talk to, DM me and I'll be your homie. I'm no therapist, but I can relate to some pretty real stuff and I don't judge. Your comment makes sense. Unfortunately, I don't think anyone knows how to fix it. The connections you seek have been devalued and replaced for convenient attention from any source available. Why are they calling your mother? That's weird and creepy. Hello ma'am, please tell your son that he is in an open relationship now. See him tomorrow. And now for the update. This post is getting traction, so might as well keep you all updated. My now ex-girlfriend has sent me a long text from an unidentified number. She told me that she thought I was okay with her banging Toby because I was fine with Toby driving her home, and apparently no guy would let his girl do that or some stupid nonsense. She's had a crush on Toby for a year now, but now says I'm the one she wants to be with. LMAO, get lost with that crap. Anyway, I blocked that same number. Letting him drive her home equals letting him bang her. What the heck is wrong with this girl? Major bullet dodged OP. I've apparently been giving off all the wrong signals to my city's bus drivers. Next story. Wife cheated, so I got a girlfriend. Essentially what the title says. Found out she bedded an old coworker 3.5 months ago. She doesn't know I know. I found out by snooping on her phone one night when she fell asleep before me, and the messages were all there. From what I could tell, it looks like they only did it once, maybe a few times, but I don't know. Last week I snooped again and found out they have plans to do it again this Friday when she's going out of town on a work trip. Originally, I was completely disgusted and absolutely heartbroken. I couldn't sleep because of the images in my head. I started drinking more and smoking a lot of weed to take my mind off of it, which has kinda helped, but not enough. Life was hard initially, but things have been better since Hannah and I hit it off. Who's Hannah? Well, she's my new girlfriend. After I found out, I started working more. I wanted to build up a mountain of overtime money so I could plan my next move, whatever it was. Anyway, she recently started working in the same area as me about 8 months ago. With me working more, I was able to spend more time around her. She's gorgeous to say the least, objectively better looking than my wife. We started talking daily, and I told her about the situation with my wife. She was really supportive and caring for me. One night when wife was on a work trip, after our shift, I asked her to grab a drink with me, which she said yes. After a few hours, we ended up at her place, and we did it all night long. The next morning, I held her in bed and talked for a few hours. I really started to like this girl and wondered where this could go. That day I ended up going home and picked up my wife at the airport. She didn't suspect a thing and carried on like usual. Hannah and I talked the next day about what happened. I told her I really enjoyed our time, which she excitedly responded that she felt the same. We agreed to keep it under the radar and also only talk when we are at work to avoid my wife finding out. So far it's worked, and she hasn't suspected a thing. It's been 3 weeks since that talk, and every day after work we do it in my car in a parking lot. I want to keep this going as long as I can. I freaking hate my wife for what she did, and I just want to inflict as much pain as possible. It should be easy to, as my wife is too infatuated with her new boy toy to take notice of anything. I know eventually, however, I need to come clean and divorce my wife. I'm just hurt. But anyway, screw that witch. Edit. I have screenshots of the text since I found out. Should have included that. I just need to find a lawyer and start the process. Be with Hannah because you enjoy your time with her, not because you want to hurt your wife. Divorce your wife and be with Hannah openly. If you like her, stop hiding and treating her like a mistress. She deserves better than a quick shag in the car, man. This. 100% with you on that. Make her feel special and not something to hurt your wife. Everyone here is a massive C word. Break up and move on. Trying to cause her pain isn't a good thing for you. It might be fun to OP now, but who knows, this might be the cause of a big headache down the road. If I were OP, I'll keep receipts of her affair and file for a divorce and be done with it. Hannah eventually cheats, she's with a married guy now. What's to stop her again? Break up and move on. Your new fling is based off revenge cheating on your wife. By the way, your new situation is not a relationship. She's a mistress in hiding, and she's terrible enough to go along with it, which means her morals are just as bad as yours and your wife. Plus, doing her in your car in the parking lot. Yep, real romantic relationship you got going. You couldn't pay for a hotel or go to her house. Says a lot about Hannah. I don't think your wife's doing it in parking lots, no matter how much prettier Hannah is. If you want to be serious, stop treating Hannah like a mistress and leave your wife, instead of lying and hiding it as long as you can. All you did was find a backup plan and a soft place to land when you leave. Instead of manning up and leaving her, you stoop to her level. I'm curious to see how things with Hannah will be once he divorced his wife and comes down from his high. Forbidden fruit isn't as sweet once you've been given permission to eat it. Next story. I've left my wife and I don't think I could be angrier. We were married for 6 years. I tried to give her everything she asked for. Everything that she might need. Many times, she said that how I was treating our marriage wasn't good enough. She'd set a goal, and I'd meet it. Bi-weekly dates, small surprise gifts, dedicated uninterrupted time together every day, my own friend group separate from hers, not going to my family so much for holidays, and so many more things. I met the goalposts, and then they'd get moved again. There was never satisfaction, but I dealt with it. Red flag, but I ignored it. I told myself I was growing into a better person. I went and got a diagnosis for my ADHD, anxiety, and depression. I started therapy and started looking for support groups. Then 5 years into our marriage, she mentions opening up our marriage. Attempting poly. After a lot of back and forth, I said yes, despite discomfort with the idea. After all, I could benefit as well. She had a successful, physically active relationship, while I struck out half a dozen times with nothing more than a handful of kisses. I had 2 or 3 panic attacks throughout our foray into polyamory. Her partner suddenly got serious and didn't think she was serious enough. He didn't think poly was for him. I get the feeling he wanted exclusivity, but she never gave that much detail, so he broke up with her. I got off work early to nurse her and be there for her through that. Halfway through the car ride home, having not said anything, she explodes into tears. She says over and over, "I hate you and I want a divorce." My heart stopped inside my chest. I never saw this coming. I thought, okay, maybe she just needs space. I'll get an apartment nearby and she can sort herself out. But through enough conversation, the truth came out. She was uneasy marrying me and couldn't bring herself to tell me. She felt pressured by her parents and societal expectations. She said she spent 6 years trying to get me to where she wanted me to be, and she was done. She said she doesn't love me the way that I love her, and she doesn't think she ever did. She said that she fell in love with the idea of a husband and a life partner, not me. I asked her what her idea of a good husband was. She said she doesn't know, but it isn't this. She says she's done doing what everyone else tells her and is now taking this time to be selfish. I ask if we can do counseling. Is my current progress not proof that I'm growing? Is the fact that I ran a half marathon the day after you asked for a divorce a sign of how far I've come? Can I just give you space, maybe a trial separation? Do we have to fully end everything? No. She wants out, and she's pulling herself out. That I shouldn't try to save this marriage because I should have been trying from day one. That the man I'm growing into is lashing out, and my growth is an act of desperation. So, after the realization that she's spent the last 6 years of my life, of my effort, trying to fix me, I moved out. After realizing that I truly have never been good enough for her, I left. I'm laying awake at night in my mom's spare room, while she has our 1,200 square feet loft apartment to herself. I reached out and said I know you're alone, but I'm here if you need to talk about anything. She said thanks, but I'm okay. My life has been upended. And she's totally fine. I loved her for who she was, or at least who she showed herself to be. And all I ever was to her was a disappointment. I'm so angry. I'm so broken. Lies. For 6 years, she couldn't bring herself to tell me the damn truth because it made her uncomfortable. I'm so angry that I can't sleep. Congrats, Olivia. You're getting what you want. A divorce in your life all to yourself. And to hell with your expectations. I wanted to be this kind of man before you came along, and I'll be more than this kind of man after you're gone. Good luck finding your ideal husband, even though you can't even think of what the ideal one is. For all our time and effort together, I truly do wish you luck. I'm bitter and angry, but I still love you in a distant sort of way. I hope you find happiness and peace. I also hope you learn to tell the truth. Godspeed and get lost. Now for the comments. OP, I'm so sorry this happened to you. Your wife should have never accepted your proposal, much less actually married you. I don't understand why so many people marry because others want them to. I'm not talking about cultures where this is the norm. You should not have to pay for her uncertainty about what she wanted or her lack of a backbone in regards to her parents. The reason she's totally fine is because she's now free of something she never wanted. You have tried so hard to be a good husband, and all she could ever see you as was a burden. You didn't deserve that, and you don't deserve the pain you're feeling now. I know everything sucks now, but in the long run, you're going to be better off. You can find a partner who appreciates you, who isn't busy trying to fix you, and can be a devoted, loving partner. I wish you much happiness in the future. Hang in there. It will get better. Everything sucked before. Did you read the same post I did? Dude just got a freaking new shot at happiness, away from that controlling thing he let walk all over him. Out with her boyfriend while he was home. Said. Might sound harsh, but OP got lucky. He was absolutely miserable. He needs to shift his perspective. And to hell with your expectations. I am totally stealing that. It's a good line. Keep it. Happy Thanksgiving. She sounds like she's having a midlife crisis and is lashing out. She's a selfish woman. I know you are hurting, but you deserve to have a partner who treats you right. She has some fantasy of what life should be like, and guess what? That crap is never gonna happen. She needs some therapy. You shouldn't have to change who you are for someone ever. It sounds like you are extremely codependent, and I feel you need therapy of your own so you can figure out who you are as a person. Yourself. Because you are your own person, and your feelings and thoughts matter. You sound like a really great guy, and I'm really sorry this happened to you. When you're ready, try looking at this as a learning experience. One day you'll look back and not even remember the guy you used to be and be oh so happy. As a woman who was with a man like this, she did you a favor. Really. I know it doesn't feel that way now, but it will. You more or less hit the nail on the head. Both of us grew up in households that gave us a skewed view of relationships. Codependency everywhere. That's what the therapy was for. I'm still gonna fix that problem. More so for me than her though. Last story. Reconciled, and I have a weird gut feeling again. Almost 2 years ago, my girlfriend 26 female and I 26 male took a short break. And after a month or so of problem solving and honest communication, we got back together. A few days before we officially got back together, we were talking every day and confessing our deep feelings for one another. She slept with someone. She lied about this for about a year. Despite my constant questioning about the situation, I noticed on a snap map she was staying somewhere overnight I'd never seen. She eventually broke down and told me. This lets me know she's capable of lying and wouldn't have opened up if I didn't consistently pry. Fast forward to now. We recently had a party a week ago. Some of her work friends came over, and there was one individual who she discusses quite a bit. I got to talking to him, trying to figure out their relationship and if she talks about me, when he said, all great things, except she tells me when you're being difficult. To this as I responded, well, at least she has someone to confide in. I gave him a shoulder pat and laughed as to not take the air out of the room, but his reaction was a nervous laugh. Why is she discussing her relationship issues or when I'm being difficult with a male coworker? Doesn't that seem odd? I immediately discussed this the next day with my girlfriend. I told her she was acting weird. She was showing all the nervous tics, like fidgeting and playing with her hair. She said she felt like she was getting accused for doing nothing, and she promises that nothing is going on. I also made a point of saying that I'm not accusing, and this feeling could be stemming from some insecurity I have. Anyway, I told her I believed her, which is only half true. I still have this feeling like something is going on, and I don't know if I'm just being paranoid or how to settle this in my mind. Any advice on how to put this thought to bed, or if I should pry further? You know she's totally capable of lying to your face. All you can do is trust your gut on this. I really want to pry further. You're going to pry into some dude banging her. Your girl took a break to bet other dudes, that's the blunt reality. Strong relationships don't really take breaks like that. How do I know that she actually banged some other dude? It's a gut feeling. She banged another man whilst you were having deep and meaningful talks about reconciliation. She did this literally days before you reconciled. That's the period when her commitment should be the strongest. Then she lied about it for a year. What do you mean, how do I know?